Well, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, or UNRWA as it is known by its initials, has worked in the Palestinian territory since 1950 and has played a key role in the daily lives of millions of people. The organisation's Deputy Director of Affairs in Gaza, Scott Anderson, joins me now live from Rafah. Thank you very much for joining us on BBC News, Mr. Anderson. I wanted to start off by getting your reaction to President Biden saying that he's hopeful of a ceasefire by next Monday.
I would say that would be very welcome, especially for the people here in Gaza. It's very much a pressure cooker. People are very desperate for any good news, and a ceasefire would go a long way to giving people some relief, taking some of the pressure off them and allowing them to feel safe for the first time in a very long time.
You're living and working in Rafah. Can you describe to us what daily life is like there?
First of all, there's a lot of people here. There's probably 1.3 million people that have been displaced across Gaza that have now set up tents or other makeshift plastic structures here in Gaza, or here in Rafah, pardon me. And that's about 5 times the number of people that were here before October 7th. So for most people, daily life consists of just trying to meet their basic needs. They're trying to find food, they're trying to find water, trying to find a bathroom, and they're trying to stay warm. So it's very much just trying to get through each day to meet their basic necessities, and everything is scarcer and more expensive than it was in the past. It makes it all very difficult for people. And as I said before, on top of that, it's very much a lot of pressure on them because of the active conflict that's ongoing.
How much supplies are getting in every day to where you are?
Not enough is the short answer. Ideally, there would be 500 trucks a day coming through Kerem Shalom. The bulk of that would be for the private sector, which would allow people to go to shops and take care of their basic needs in a much more dignified manner. On average, if we have a good day, we're getting 200 trucks in. We've had a lot of difficulties with the crossing, both on the Israeli side as well on the Gaza side, in terms of either demonstrators or people trying to disrupt the operation. So it makes it very difficult. We had a good day yesterday. We got food in both for World Food Program and UNRWA, but the day before that, there was no food left in our warehouses, which is a frightening proposition when we're trying to provide food to over 2 million people.
And what is the mood? You talk to the people who are there every day. What is the mood amongst them?
I think it goes back and forth between despair, fear, and then hope that a ceasefire may actually occur. As I said, we welcome what President Biden had said, and we very much hope that a ceasefire comes to fruition because people are scared. Over 100,000 people have been impacted by this conflict. Nearly 30,000 have died in Gaza. Over 70,000 have been injured. And that doesn't capture, the reports we have out of the north of children dying of starvation, or the pockets of starvation that are causing people to lose their life. That's just those that are have suffered from the active combat. So it's very much one of despair. There's very few families that you can find that have not been impacted in some way, either through death or injury. And as I said, there's also just a grain of hope that there will be a ceasefire and people can begin to rebuild their lives.
And you are in Rafah, the southern city, but as you mentioned, in the north, the situation is much worse, isn't it, in terms of getting supplies in there?
Yeah, the situation north is significantly worse. From south to north in Gaza, the conditions just get a little worse as you go. People in Rafah are probably the best off. And then if you get to Gaza City in the north, they're the worst off. And we really hope that this ceasefire will allow us to have better supply lines and be able to reach more people in the north in particular, where there are, as I said, pockets of starvation, and we know people are suffering.
And how concerned are you about the Israeli planned operation in Rafah?
We have a lot of concerns that have been echoed by across the UN as well as other countries, including the United States. Because there are so many people here, as I said, 1.3 million, any kind of operation without a way to evacuate innocent civilians first would be catastrophic in terms of the loss of life.
And where could those people go, realistically?
Well, there's not a lot of places in Gaza. It's a very small area anyway, but they would have to go north to Khan Yunis or the middle area, or perhaps even further north. It really depends a lot on how Israel sees the operation unfolding in terms of where they would try to direct people to seek safety.
Scott Anderson from UNRWA, thank you very much for joining us.